All right. I hope everyone enjoyed that lovely intro music. It is 1 o'clock on the dot, so we're going to get started today with our session on optimizing student engagement. Our brief overview of our agenda for today. We're first going to do some introductions, then we're going to talk about student engagement in higher education, and we'll have some time to demo and practice some student engagement tips within Brightspace, and then we'll have time for our Q&A as well as networking and sharing of some resources. My name is Samantha Wooldridge. I'm a Senior Adoption Specialist here at D2L, and I also have my colleagues Renata and Catherine who will be answering questions in the Q&A today. Just a reminder that the Q&A is open, and you can also raise your hand if you have any questions you need answered live. I'd also like to clarify some terms before we get too far. You've likely heard of D2L or Brightspace before, but to clarify, D2L is the company that we work for. Brightspace is the product we make, which is a learning management system. And depending on where you work, your institution or organization may call Brightspace by a different name. Although some institutions have different names for their learning management system, if you're here, they likely all refer to Brightspace. In addition, we have our Brightspace community. This is a hub of resources where you can connect with other Brightspace users and seek out additional information on using Brightspace. We have a number of user groups, including the Higher Education Faculty Group, where we share events and articles relevant to using Brightspace to teach higher education. There's a link in the chat that you can access if you have not yet joined the Brightspace community. We'd love to see you there. So let's get started with talking about optimizing student engagement with Brightspace. Engagement is a term that's frequently used, but it often means a lot of different things. I pulled this from a study done in 2021 done by Jared Borup, and they identified 3 different areas of engagement: behavioral, emotional, and cognitive. We can break down how students engage with their course content into these 3 different areas. So behavioral engagement for students, this is broken down into passive. So they're either learning something through a lecture, maybe they're listening to a podcast. They don't have to interact with the content to absorb it. There's also interactive engagement. Students are able to take some control over their learning by interacting with others or their learning materials. This could be participating in an online discussion, perhaps they're using an interactive element within the course content. And then we have creative. So students are using technology to create original material and artifacts. This could be documenting learning in an online portfolio or choosing how to demonstrate their knowledge. Perhaps you have an assessment and you give students the option of whether they'd like to complete that in an oral form, a written paper, or some other way. We have a couple of different tools within Brightspace that allow you to reach the different levels of behavioral engagement. In our passive behavioral engagement, we have content, announcements, intelligent agents. For interactive behavioral engagement, we have discussions and awards. And for creative, we have portfolio and assignments. So with all of that, our learning objectives for today, we're going to talk about how you can use intelligent agents to reach students, how you can use awards to promote engagement and gamify your course, and how you can use release conditions to support that personalization of learning. And we're going to dive into our environment. So here I'm on my Brightspace homepage for my course. If you joined us in last week's session, you know that this is the course we'll be using for the duration of this series, building on our Business 101. I'm going to get started by going into my Intelligent Agents tool. If you're not familiar with Intelligent Agents, as it is more of a more advanced tool than the basic ones, it may not be on your navigation bar here, but you can access any tools that are turned on in your organization by going to your course admin. That's what I'm going to do now. And then here you'll see the whole list of tools that are available to you in your course. You can sort either by name or category. I like to sort by name because it's alphabetized and that is just easier for me to find things. I'll go to my Intelligent Agent tool here. And you can see I have a short list of agents that have already been created. You can edit these if you have some agents already, but I'm going to create a new agent. And then I have quite an extensive field to fill out here. So I'm going to name my agent not logged into Brightspace. We're going to call it this because we want this agent to support students who maybe haven't logged into Brightspace for a period of time. So I'm going to add my description there as well. It's going to send an email to users who have not logged into Brightspace in the last 5 days. I don't need to categorize it, but if you are using a large number of intelligent agents, this would be a best practice, is to create categories for yourself to keep organized. And something very important that's often missed when creating intelligent agents is to ensure that your agent is enabled. So that way it does run. If you do not check this box, the agent will not run. So I'm going to check that it is enabled. Next, I'm going to open up my scheduling tab here. I have frequency. I'm going to choose to run this weekly, and it's going to repeat every week on Sunday. The time, this is less important than your, day or frequency. However, it's likely not well received to have this run in the middle of the night. So just make sure this is, running during regular course hours. And then you'll also want to ensure that it's running within your course time frame so that you're not, sending students intelligent agents when they haven't logged into the course when the course is not live. I'm going to open up my criteria tab here. I have the option to select all roles within the class list or specific roles. For this, I'm going to choose just students. You may have teaching assistants or auditors in your course, so you want to make sure you're only running it to students if that's the case. And I'm going to have this intelligent agent take action when the user has not logged in the last 5 days, as we said in our description. I don't need to add a release condition here, but you do have the option to add release conditions as well to intelligent agents. There's more on the different ways you can use intelligent agents in our post-session resources that will be available to you. And then in my Actions tab, I have the repetition section where I can choose to take the action only the first time the agent is satisfied or every time. I'm going to choose every time so that this serves as a reminder for students on a regular basis. We're not going to change any enrollments, but we are going to send an email. So I'm going to select this box, and that opens up this email creation field for me. So I'm going to first start with this to line of my email. You can see in this blue font down below, there are some special email addresses that I can use. I'm going to click that open just so that you can see there's 2 different options if you want to email the initiating user, or in this case, the student who is enrolled in your course. Or if you have auditors assigned to users, you can use that initiating user auditor. By using these special email addresses, that means you don't have to individually add in the student or auditor email. It's just done with the replace string, special email address, and Not sure why it doesn't want to paste in for me here. There we are. I always like to paste in these special email addresses or replace strings to ensure that there's no errors. I'm going to put in my subject line and also my content. So you can see here in the content of my email, I've used the replace string for initiating user first name. That just adds an element of personalization for the student. You also have your full Brightspace editor. If you wanted to add an image or a video, whatever you like, you can put in here. You can also choose to attach files. There's so much you can do with intelligent agents, but I'm going to just create a simple message for now and save and close. And now that my intelligent agent has been created, we can see it's at the bottom of my list here. And my next run date is set for October 13th. Whenever you run an intelligent agent, you'll see the last run date as well as the number of students who are identified in that run. I can also do a practice run, and you can create reports of your history as well. Because this is a demo environment and all of my students are demo students, everyone would show up for me if I was to do a practice run, so I won't do that now. But if you want to ensure your agent is running as expected, you can do that here. And are there any questions I should address before I move on to awards from my Q&A? Oh.
Nope, we are all good.
All right. So I'm going to move on to our awards tool. I do have awards in my nav bar, so I don't need to go through course admin. I'll click into awards here. And when we first get to the awards tool, it shows us our list of students and all of the awards that they have been issued. You can manually issue awards to users here. You can also create awards by going to course awards. And you can see there are no awards in this course right now. So I'm going to add an award to the course. There is a very large list of awards here that have been created in the organization. It's a really nice thing about awards is you can share them. They're not just created in one course and only used there. They can be shared. So these are all different awards that have been shared, but I would like to create a new award. So I'm going to click Create. And I'm going to call this Quiz Star. And I'm going to add in my description and the criteria. The criteria and the description tend to be very similar. In my award type here, you can choose to have a badge or a certificate. Typically, you're going to choose a badge for in-course awards for things like achievement on a quiz, which is the award we're going to create today. If you have a longer certification or you're giving accreditation for something, that's a really good opportunity to make a certificate. And when you use a certificate award, it gives students the option to print out a PDF of that certificate. In our availability section, we can make the award available to all of your courses, to other creators and their courses, or if you want to restrict it just to this specific course. I'm going to make it available to all my courses, but if you're feeling generous and want to share, that's totally fine as well. I don't ever want this award to expire. However, you can do that if maybe you have a perfect attendance award or for whatever reason you want to have the award end. And then we also have our award image. So you can choose from an existing library. These are all added in by D2L. There's tons and tons and tons of different award images. but I really want to use a specific icon. So I'm going to use this little star icon. You can easily upload any image you like to use. And once that is all set, you can save and close. And you can see my award is right there. Once you've created the award, you then have to, if you want it to automatically release to students, you have to add some properties. So I'm going to edit properties. And I'm going to, under release conditions, hit create. Because we called this the Quiz Star Award, under my condition type, I'm going to scroll all the way down to quizzes, and I'm going to select score on a quiz. And we're going to award this to students who achieve more than 80% on, or sorry, more than 85% on any quiz in the course. So I'm going to add this first release condition to add to if they achieve more than 85% on this course, they'll automatically receive this award. You can create multiple release conditions here as well. So I'm going to add a second release condition, which will also be score on a quiz, this time for week 2 quiz. We're going to stick with our above 85% and create. When you have multiple conditions here, you'll see this drop-down menu where you can select all conditions must be met or any conditions must be met. In this case, I'm going to choose any conditions because I want the award to go to students anytime they achieve more than 85% on the quiz. But that's completely up to you. You can also choose to hide the award until earned. I like to keep this visible so that students can see the awards that are available to them and what they need to do in order to achieve them. So if I go back to my class list here, I can choose to manually issue awards as well. I'll click on the little checkbox beside Faith here, and I can click issue, and then I can select my course awards that I would like to issue to her. I can add evidence and issue the award, and then you'll see the different awards that she has. All right. So with that, we're going to move on. If there's no questions in the Q&A regarding awards or the release conditions associated with awards, we can move on to our next part of the demo, which is using our checklist and release conditions.
Sorry to
There
interrupt,
are,
Sam.
yeah.
There are a couple of questions in the
Yeah.
Q&A that we'll just stop for a moment. So one of them is, can you input a different issuer if your school uses a badging platform?
Oh, I'm assuming that would be in here where there's the issuer URL and the issuer contact. I would reach out to your LMS admin. I have never run into an instance where someone is using a different badging platform. I know we had a partnership with Badger previously, but I'm not entirely sure. I think you could put in like your own email address or something like that here, but I would reach out to your LMS admin to make entirely sure, especially with the integration with a badging platform.
Thanks, Sam. And then another question was, is there a way to use attendance as a criteria? I'm wondering if the question has to do with using attendance like as a release condition, which is
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming as well. So let's check in the list of all of the release conditions here. It doesn't look like attendance is an option, but I think that might also be because we don't have attendance turned on in this instance. Yeah, that one, we'll have to check the community and we'll provide that in the Q&A document as well as in the post-session resources.
Sounds good. And then if Sam, if you could show just how you got to awards, just
Yeah.
that I think there was somebody that was wondering about how you get to the
Yeah,
awards tool.
absolutely. So in my course, I have awards in my navigation bar, so I can get to awards that way. If you do not have awards in your navigation bar, you can click on Course Admin and then click on your awards tool, and that will bring you to awards. This is showing all of your class list awards, and to get to the section where you create awards, you'll go to your course awards.
Thank you. And then I think there was some questions about the birthday award that you had, and just wondering how that gets released. So I think that might have been, I'm not sure if that showed up on the homepage there or where that was, but
Oh,
um,
yeah.
that one would need to be manually given to a student. I'm not
Yes.
sure if you want to show just how that would be given to a student.
Yeah, so I see this one, the Happy Birthday Award. If I was to edit this, uh, you can see there's no release conditions attached to it. Let me add that one to the course. So to add pre-created awards, you'll check the select box beside and click Add, and then it will show up in the list of awards you have here. There is no release condition that would identify a student's birthday, but you could have that information as a faculty, either through, having them fill out a survey or whatnot. And then you would manually release the award to students. So to do that, you would go to the class list, select the student you would like to issue the award to, and click Issue. Select the award, and then you'll issue the award. So you add your evidence and click issue, and you can see that Carlos now has that happy birthday award.
Thank you. There was a question about seeing how does it show up for students. So I'm not sure
Mm-hmm.
if that's something that you're able to show, Sam, as well.
Yeah, absolutely. To do that, I'm going to go to my class list tool, and I'll impersonate a student so you can see their view. Now, please keep in mind that these are demo students. They're not real people, which is why I'm able to impersonate them. We do not recommend that you impersonate real students. You can use the View as Student option, or you can ask your LMS admin to add in a demo student for you. So I'm going to go ahead and impersonate this demo student. And you can see that when an award is issued to the student, the next time they log in, they'll get this really neat little pop-up box that tells them that they've received the award. They can close the box or they can go and view all of their awards. So when they're seeing their awards that they have earned, they'll have My Awards or Available Awards, so they can see all of the awards that they've earned across all of their courses. And they can also see the available awards that they have to them. This is why I like to keep that option that the award is not hidden, because this gives students a bit of a motivator to try and earn those awards that they have not yet received. This is one way that they can see them. Another way that they can see awards, let me pop out of this impersonation. Another way that they can see awards is with the award leaderboard. So that's a widget that is available. You can see here on my screen where it says awards. So this user hasn't earned any awards, but they can see the available awards as well. Let me just go back to our higher ed course.
Thank you. And then there's a question about if students see other students' awards or only their own.
Yeah, great question. So they can see others' awards with the leaderboard, but they don't have to. So it's up to the faculty. Do we have any more questions before we move on to our checklist?
I think we can move on. I think there's a couple of questions that Catherine and I can add in the type the answer in for those individuals.
Awesome. All right. So now we're going to move along to a really cool section of the demo where we're using a checklist in combination with release conditions to add a personalized element to student learning. So I'm going to go to my checklist tool, which is not in my nav bar. So again, I'm going to go to my course admin, and I'm going to click on my checklists tool. I'm going to create a new checklist. And I have a little creation window here. I'm going to type in my name for my checklist and add a brief description as well. So for this checklist, students are going to be able to choose how they would like to submit their final assessment. And so once I've got this name and description, I can save the checklist. And that gives me the option to add categories and items. You're going to need to add a category before you can create any items. So I'm going to start with a new category. And the name of this category is going to be assignment, as it's the choice for the final assignment. I'm not going to add a description here. It's not really necessary. So I'll just save. And now I can add in some checklist items. I'm going to click New Item. And again, I don't really need to add in a description. I just need to add in a title. So I'm going to put in my title or name, and I can choose the category I would like this item to fall under. Since I only have one category, it's pretty simple here. And once I feel good about that, I can click Save and New. And that will allow me to add another checklist item. Again, I don't really need to put in a description, just the name. But if you do want to put in a description, you have a full Brightspace editor here, so you can add in videos, images, links, emojis, whatever you feel like you want to add into your checklist. They can be quite simple or quite robust. I feel good about this checklist item now, so I'm going to save. And you can see I have my very simple checklist with just two options. So I'm going to save and close. Next, I'm going to go to my assignments tool because I want students to be able to select on the checklist and have the assignment released to them. So you can see here, I've already created the two assignments I want students to be able to choose from, my formal report or my oral presentation. I'm going to click on the oral presentation here and edit the assignment. You can see I've put together my whole assignment with all of my due dates, etc. We'll get into this next month when we talk about creating assessments in Brightspace. But right now I want to show you how to add the release condition. So just like when we were working on the awards, I have my release conditions option here. And you can see the condition has been added that they complete the checklist item, final assessment choice, oral presentation. To do that, I would click Create New. From my condition type, I'll scroll down to Checklist. And you want to select Completed Checklist Item. Then you will select the checklist that you want to choose from, and you'll select the item. And then you'll hit create. Since I already have this condition created, I'm going to hit cancel so we don't have a duplicate condition. Once that has been done, I'll show you what it looks like from the student perspective. I'm going to go back to my class list to impersonate a student again. I'm going to go to my content tool. And here under final assignment, I can see that final assignment choice checklist. I'm going to click on that. And you can see I have two options here. I'm going to select oral presentation, and my response is automatically saved. When I move ahead in my content, I'm taken immediately to my oral presentation assignment here. And students can complete the assignment from there. I know that's quite a complicated workflow, but it's a really great way to have students be able to have that choice and ownership over their learning and how they're demonstrating their learning. Do we have any questions about checklists or release conditions there before we move on?
Nope.
All
Oh, sorry. The couple are just coming in just as you said
Oh
that.
yeah, no worries. That's fine.
Um, so one of them is, will the assignment show in the work to do area before the checklist is completed so students are aware of the assignment?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't believe that it does. What I would do in that case is add a due date to the checklist so that they see that they have to select the type of assignment they're going to complete by a certain date so that they have time to see the assignment due date.
Okay, thank you. And then once a student selects an option on the checklist, can they change their answer?
I don't believe that they can because the checklist has already been completed.
Mhm.
However, you as the instructor could go ahead and manually override that by either removing their checklist response and allowing them to do it again, or by giving them special access to the assignment, which we'll talk about in our accessibility session.
Okay, great. Yeah, there was a couple of questions around that if they change their answer. And then is there a way to link the assignment to the checklist?
Yeah,
So yeah,
absolutely. So let me go back into the checklist tool here, and I'll edit this assignment here, or this checklist. So what I would do if you wanted to link to the assignment in the checklist is I would click into the item and I would insert the quick link to the assignment this way. So this is the oral presentation. We'll click link there. So the link to the assignment would be right there for them. So yeah, I think that's a great idea so that they can see the options, see the full assignment layout before they make their decision. That's a great point. I'm just looking through here in the Q&A. I see someone has asked to clarify why we don't recommend impersonating students, and that's a great question and it's super important. I don't recommend that anyone impersonate real, live, living, breathing human students for privacy reasons. There's some things in their profile that you might not want to see. We are able to impersonate students because these are completely made up student roles. They are not attached to any real people. You can see the student view by clicking on your profile button and clicking view as student. However, when we're demonstrating in our webinars, we don't always like to do this as there are some things that don't quite carry over perfectly as it does with the impersonate role. So I just like to give the caveat to ensure we're always meeting privacy standards. I'm just scrolling through the Q&A here now. Yeah, lots of people asking if they changed their mind. I see someone asking about the awards widget. So that's a great question. I believe you can add both an awards widget, which would link right to the awards tool, or the award leaderboard widget. Those are both options. And then I see someone here. If the checklist is connected to a quiz, oh, we're moving quickly in the Q&A. If a checklist is connected to a quiz that has a date, do I have to change it manually, or will it be changed automatically when I change the quiz date? Checklist dates and quiz dates will operate independent of each other, so there's no automatic date syncing. If you do change the date on the quiz and you want them to go together, you could do that within the Manage Dates tool through your course admin. All right, any more questions before we get into the discussion section for today?
Just
No,
looking
that
at
was a
these
real.
checklist questions. Lots of questions, which is great. I just wanted to double check this. When you create a checklist, does the checklist then appear as an option to select within the assignment creation area?
Yeah, absolutely. So you will have to create the checklist before it will be available for
Mhm.
you to attach it to the assignment. So once you have your checklist created, when you're creating your assignment here, within the availability dates and conditions, this is
Sorry,
where,
sorry to interrupt, Sam. Are you still sharing your screen? Because I'm not able to see it. I don't know if.
oh,
Yeah, yeah, I can see.
I don't know what happened there. Sorry, guys.
Oh,
Uh,
that's okay.
All
There we
right,
go.
so
Okay.
I'm in my assignment creation field. This is a previously created assignment, so I'm just editing it.
Mhm.
But when
Okay.
you open up on the right side here, the availability dates and conditions window, you would be adding a release condition. So to create a new release condition, the condition type will always show all of the different possible conditions that are available. So
Okay.
that's where you would have seen the checklist and the completed checklist item that we added here. This will show up whether or not you can have a checklist that it is able to be associated with the assignment. But in this checklist dropdown, you'll just see nothing.
Okay. I see
Yeah.
now. Thank you so much.
No problem. So you just have to make sure you add the checklist before you try and add the condition.
Okay. That definitely answered my question. Thanks a lot.
No problem. Thanks for asking.
Sam, the privacy question just came, or the impersonating students question just came in again. So what we said is that we don't recommend to impersonate students. This is for privacy reasons in case there's something in their profile that they don't want others to see.
Correct.
We impersonate students on our demo site because they are not real people, so they have no real information that's shared on their profiles.
Yes, completely correct. There also might be different privacy laws. I know state of California, the entire country of Canada, the UK and the EU have all different privacy laws as well. So we recommend not impersonating students for the privacy reasons, but you also don't want to run into privacy laws where you might get in trouble for impersonating students as well. I also saw in the Q&A several people had said that only high-level administrators are allowed to impersonate at their organization, and I think that's best practice. Brianna had also said it's dangerous to impersonate because you can make changes that have real consequences and it won't be clear that the student didn't do it. Absolutely correct. Great point. Thank you, Brianna. All right. Any more questions that I need to address from the Q&A? All right. Oh,
Sorry. Oh, nope, that was just Richard's question. Perfect. Yep. Sorry, Sam. All good.
all right. So our learning objectives for today, we went over how to use intelligent agents to reach out to students, how to use awards to promote engagement and add a bit of gamification to your course, and using release conditions along with checklists to support personalization of learning. Before we dive into our discussion for today, I'd like to call out our D2L Champions program. If you're not yet a D2L champion, this is a great way to get involved. If you're interested in providing us with reviews or possibly product feedback, etc., you can join the D2L Champions program. Every contribution you make to the Champions program awards you points, which you can redeem for gift cards, swag, or D2L services. The link to sign up to be a champion will be in the chat as well. We also have our higher ed faculty group, which I mentioned earlier. We have a QR code there on the screen. We'll be continuing today's discussion after within the community. It's a great place to be, and we'd love to see you there. And we also have our upcoming Bright Ideas webinar series. So this was session 2. Up next is our assessment mini-series, which will be in 3 parts. I typically say that you don't need to attend one session to be able to attend others. However, I highly recommend for the assessment mini-series, if you're able to attend all